Hello, all you beautiful people. Thank you for joining me on Rise and Shine. So let's take a look at our readings for this week. In case you've been wondering, like, why do I keep doing charm readings? I am in a state of flux until I sort of get through some of this Cancer stuff and get that navigated and knowing what I'm doing. So I am just keeping it simple and doing the basics for now. So we might well get more evolved because I certainly know where I wanted to go with this initially. Okay, so first we have the helmet, so the armor and the helmet for the head, if that's something that appeals to you. We have a tree, so perhaps you're thinking about your family tree or the tree of life. And we have a beaker, so a scientific chemical beaker for liquids. All right, so you pick one of those charms and then the corresponding reading will apply to you. I am gonna read for our helmet people first. And let's see what we've got for you guys this week. Okay, so, oh wow, okay, so helmet people, you are really focused on how you're gonna grow and make a difference in the world. There's a lot of spiritual sort of optimism here. And I see you willing to be a little more vulnerable than maybe you normally would be, especially with that helmet. It's like you're taking it off, you're letting people see you. Some of you might also be feeling a little itchy. Star people can also have very reactive skin. And so if there's something going on your skin right now, this is also part of this. And I want you to think about what information are you gathering from whatever's going on in your skin? Is your hair standing on end? Like you've got the chills? Do you have a rash or eczema or something like that? Those things can be giving you information about your environment, whether that's physical or emotional. So I really want you to be open to what kind of information is coming through. There is a sense that you were kind of on the move here and that nothing is really static, but I feel like that's actually a good place for you as well. And you know, we think about the helmet, that is to protect the head, so the thinking cap. And the last thing that we want damaged, we want to protect our brains, and so there is part of that. Work for you, I do feel like you've got some closure there. You're coming to an end in work, whether that's a project or the job itself. There can also be, for some of you, like bonus coming in and some financial stability there. I even feel like for people that are teachers, you know, it's the summer break, but there is a point at which now you are beginning to think and prep a little bit for this whole back to school notion and what that's going to look like. I will say it doesn't feel totally stable yet either. It's a little bit wonky at the moment. But I feel like work life is going to be good, although things are not lining up perfectly. I give it some time and some space. I think that might kind of, you know, work itself out. In the personal realm, if you're female, you got to think before you speak. I feel like you've got some rough edges right now, and so you feel a little bit harsh, a little bit defensive, and frustrated in the personal realm. And you know, we have cycles, whether that's you know, the menstrual cycle or a timing cycle. I have a time of day where I just call it my witching hour, you know, which is what we called it for newborn babies. But yeah, kind of 4 to 6. If I haven't eaten, I am not the best person in the world, and I have to navigate that and kind of avoid stepping on people's toes because I can be kind of, you know. So I want you to think about your mood and how you can help yourself. I do feel like you're taking on too much and you're absorbing too much. So you know, I do believe that we're all empathic, so we all, you know, absorb things around us. But I want you to be aware that you need to build some boundaries for yourself in this area, and you might be less frustrated if you have more boundaries set in place that are consistent and that you follow through with, and that way you've got some control in that, because it's always the struggle about what can we control. if you were male and we're looking at a female for you or a queen for you, you know, I think there's some real frustration of like, is she listening to me? Can I get through to this person? You know, whether that's your mom, your girlfriend, your husband, whatever. You know, this is that stubbornness that can come forward, and I feel like you need someone to hear you, and this person is unable to hear your truth right now. It's, you know, turning back to be either about them or you're falling on deaf ears. They're just not available emotionally for you. And so, you know, with that, maybe let them cool down and have a conversation to help clarify this a little bit more. They're never easy conversations, but you know, if someone says, hey, you know what, you were being so difficult right now, I don't want to be around you, I would listen to that. And I have listened to that. I mean, it sucks to hear it. And you know, I want to be defensive and I want to let it fester, but I have to circle back around. Like, realistically, I am being difficult in those moments. I know I'm being difficult. And so, you know, this is that kind of thing. I feel like you need to grapple this with this person to have growth. Okay. And then, let's see, spiritual, physical, what am I coming up here with for you? If you're a lover of group exercise, I feel like that's not happening in the way you want it to be right now. There seems to be a little bit of a lack of harmony in your gym situation. And perhaps that's a time issue, just not being able to be there. I do feel like, though, that if you change up the routine or the people you're around, that will make a significant difference. In your spiritual realm, it looks like you're kind of moving into understanding something about the past or other people's belief systems. And so that's a really interesting thing for you to kind of check out and explore and see what other people think or believed. It doesn't feel like that there's anything wrong with your own spirituality. It's more of like, oh, what did they used to do back then? And how does that look? And why did they believe in those particular gods? And so there's a sense of kind of understanding and looking for deeper meaning in this. So, and the other thing that comes forward with this for some reason is charitable giving, that you need to think about maybe contributing to something for no reason. Like, it doesn't need to come back to you, kind of thing. So, you know, to a charity, something that you believe in and connect with, or, you know, ask someone if you don't know. But I feel like that's actually something that it's to pay it forward with your heart, so to speak. And that feels like that's got some significance for you. So if you've never done that, this is your time to kind of begin to tap into that. And don't break the bank. It's not like it needs to be a huge ton of money, but it is significant in our energy exchange. Okay, so the helmet for you, navigating that sense of protection, also being willing to take it off to let your brain expand and think bigger. That all feels really good, and like you're doing what you need to do, despite the difficulty or the challenges there. So, okay, that was our helmet, people. Now let's take a look at our tree, and it is a nice lush tree with full branches and full leaves. So a lot of good growth that's happening there. There's not a focus on the root system. It's more about the outward show versus what's under the ground. Realistically, what's underground is actually more expansive than what's on top. And that is because I'm a complete plant geek and nerd. So, let's see. So tree people, you seem to be, interesting. There's a lot of focus on how you're creating your world right now, and the beauty in it. So you want things to look good. You want to have the right fabrics and materials. You want, whether that's on your clothes or on your furniture, it's like things should look beautiful and good, and you want to feel really happy and proud of yourself around that. And I feel that you are. This is a really good place to be. So there's some good self-confidence that's happening, but at the same time, I feel like you've got some personal challenges that you're needing to work through. So this sort of like, outwardly I've got it together, but inwardly I'm feeling a little bit more fragile and delicate here. Work, either there's someone new in your work environment that you're having to deal with that perhaps isn't getting it or isn't very capable, and that is frustrating you or irritating you, or you're new into a role and you haven't developed those roots yet. You're not fully established, and so you're feeling insecure because you're like, typically I'm capable and I'm really good at what I do, but I don't even know where the pencil sharpener is, or just things like that, where the outlets are. And so you've got to navigate this new role. This can also be learning new positions in a job that you've already been in too. So, and it's like, sometimes we can feel a little insecure because we're so excited for the promotion, and yet we're like, oh dude, can I really do this? Like, so fake it till you make it. And so I think outwardly people really believe in you and they see you as being capable for this. So I need you to believe in you and give yourself some patience that you will learn all the tricks of the trade. Think about that big showy tree and how expansive the branches cover and create shade and protection for every person and living thing underneath it. Personal life. Honestly, there's focus on mom here for you. If you've lost your mom, there's grief. If you're dealing with your mom, there's a disconnect. And I feel like the way you see yourself and the way she sees you right now is a little bit opposite. And I want you guys to give up the power struggle and work on the relationship. I think there's a tendency to want to pull away and create space, just because, she's not necessarily gonna let go or give up, and nor does she necessarily need to. You are not the same person you were at 3 years old when she had to make all your decisions for you. And yet, as moms, it's hard to pull away from that too. And so, it's finding that balance and navigating that together. Some of you might be struggling a little bit with getting pregnant and, wanting to conceive a child or hold on to a child. And I want you to be conscientious that I feel like your cycle is strong, and there are times when that really will work, but perhaps there might be something different in your window of opportunity. But I do feel like I feel like there's fertility here. I don't see that as being a problem, but it could be all the other things that go on in your life, because there's a lot of distraction in this. And I just want you to be aware, you've got to continue to simplify and have those spaces for what we call boredom. Boredom is a thing that we used to have like a really long time ago, but people really don't know about it now. So boredom is powerful though, because when you're bored, you will sit and journal, or you'll paint, or you'll plant flowers in your garden. You'll do these other wonderful things that maybe you wouldn't get to without the busyness of our lives. But I really feel like you connecting with this kind of Mother Earth energy is going to be really important. And actually looking more at this, there's a lot about fertility kind of coming up here, and wanting to be a mom, and that being way more important than any kind of job that you're in. And so, honor this, even the idea of the family tree, honor this within yourself. Let go of trying to grow in the career. Focus on having kids if that's really important. I literally had to decide today to not give birth to a new project because I needed to focus on my own health. And so, it's just being aware of that. You know what? Spiritually, you've got this. And health-wise, again, If you're worried about getting pregnant, I see you getting pregnant. So I think this is really good. Just because it hasn't happened yet, it doesn't mean that it's not going to. And however you experience a family, you know, because I also want you to not rule out adoption. Being fertile doesn't necessarily mean, you know, with our own eggs. It can be someone else's eggs. It can be someone else's child and raising that child. Especially when I'm looking, you know, if I was reading for you one-on-one, I could tell you more specifically, but this being a general read makes it a little bit hard. But I want you to think about how you can grow your family. I feel like that's inevitable for you, that this will come together and it's going to be beautiful and what you want it to be. Just kind of hang in there and continue on, because I do feel like you've got this. And, you know, if it's something you need more on, please feel free to book at tarotdallas.com. Or, you know, reach out to someone in your own neighborhood if you want an in-person reading and get some clarification on that, because those can always be helpful. But sometimes just the hint that, yes, this can happen can make all the difference in the world for someone. So that's pretty exciting stuff. All right, so that was our tree people. Expansion and growth. Work, if you're working, maybe it's a, you know, it's got some challenges there, but hang in there with that. I don't see that as being a major ordeal, but that definitely turned much more towards growing a family. Okay, and then our beakers. So those people who pick the scientific beaker. So measurement is important. How much? Not enough. Being aware of that in your life. Ooh. Okay, so, interesting. So, you're all about zeros and sixes today, which is kind of interesting. So you seem to be in a good cycle. The energy of the world is working with you, and you're kind of riding that and navigating that energy right now, which is great. That's what we need you to do. And that's also what can feel really good in our life, is like feeling like you've got the flow of things. So that seems good for you right now. Things going in, things going out. So like financially, I feel like you're spending on things that you want to be spending on, or as the money comes in, it's also going out. But it doesn't seem bad. I feel like it's equitable and balanced. And work for you, I do feel like you're being really generous at work right now. Now, part of that might be with your time, and so you're looking at more, like you're working extra hours, or perhaps they are doing fun things for work and you're going to those, but it's kind of like, I should be off work and I have to go to happy hour work, you know, work happy hour, and if I don't go, it looks bad, and you know, so there's a little bit of that, of charitable giving in there. And but I also think there's some fun and lightness with it, so it feels like a positive to me. But it is extra time and energy that's going in there. Now, your personal life, that seems a little stuck. And I feel like you kind of don't know what you want next. You're not sure what you should have. And it's not that you don't trust the universe. It's more that you don't trust yourself to land on your feet with it. You know, how do you need change in your personal life? That's always an interesting thing, you know. And it depends where we are, because we don't really ever leave our families, but you know, sometimes there are ways in which we need to move on or create some change. And I feel for you that right now you're not sure what that needs to look like. And so it's just not happening. And I don't see it as bad. I know that you need to think about kind of what is healthy for you, and measure that up. Because I think for some reason that becomes the difficulty of where you start and someone else ends, and so these ideas, you get kind of merged in with others and other people's needs and demands. And I think that right now it's holding you back from some independence that you might be craving. Okay, now finally, health, spirituality. We need more focus on your health right now. I feel like something more active, more cardiovascular based would be important for you. And for some of you, that might be slowing down a little bit. If you are a go, go, go kind of energy person, then chill out a little bit. But I do feel like you've got some challenges you kind of got to move through here. Spiritually, it just feels a little more disconnected. Not that your spiritual life it's not that it's bad, it's just not your main focus right now. I feel like you're looking more towards practical energy. And you probably need to give a little more attention to your physical well-being and your spiritual well-being, and then you're going to feel a little more well-rounded. I also think that is going to help in that personal life situation, because I feel like your work stuff is good. You're just not getting as much of that kind of me time and self-development and growth in there. The other thing is go with the flow a little bit. Don't be quite so over controlling in that area. I think that'll help quite a bit. And a beaker is for really exact measurements. And so maybe that is like needing to let go of some of that OCD or type A personality so that you can feel a little more fulfilled and enjoy your life a little bit better. Okay, guys, so that was it for this week. I hope that helped you out and made some sense to you in your crazy day and your crazy life. I'm here if you need me. Let me know if you have any questions you'd like me to focus on, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. All right, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.